So, welcome everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Darlene McLennan, and I manage the Australian Disability Clearinghouse on Education and Training, which is ADCET for short. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a white woman in my late 50s with grey brown hair and glasses. And today I'm wearing a kind of a tawny coloured top with swirly black marks on it. Hopefully, if you've been with us, before you know that this webinar is live captioned. You can activate those captions by clicking the CC button in the toolbar that is located either at the top or the bottom of your screen. We also have captions available via a browser, and the team will add that to the chat now. Thanks, team. Okay, ADCET is hosted on Lutruwita, Tasmanian Aboriginal land, and the spirit of reconciliation. I and ADCET respectfully acknowledges the Lutruwita nations and also recognise Aboriginal history and culture of the land on this land. And I want to pay my respect to elders past and present, and to the many Aboriginal people who did not make elder status. I also want to acknowledge all other countries and lands from the participants in the meeting, and also acknowledge their elders and ancestors and their legacy to us and any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders joining us today. Encourage people to add, and I think people are already starting to add into the chat where and what country they are on. It's a lovely way for people to engage. Just make sure that you choose all participants or everybody, not just the presenters, so that everybody can see your post. And yeah, it was and it always will be Aboriginal land. Okay, today's webinar is Accessibility in Office 365. Inclusive isn't elusive. I should have said that a few times. It's a tongue tie. And is presented by the fabulous Andrew Balzer, and it will focus on Microsoft Office and Microsoft AI Assistant Copilot. In this session, we will discover how to make Office 365 more inclusive and accessible, and learn how to use Copilot effectively. It's been really exciting playing in the AI space in the last 6 months, and it's great to have Andrew to share his knowledge and learning with us once again. Just a couple of more housekeeping details. As we stated, this webinar is being live captioned by the fabulous Helen from Bradley Reporting, and will be recorded, and this recording will be made available on ADCET in the coming days. If you are having any difficulties throughout the webinar, you can email us at admin@adcet.edu.au. Our webinars normally go for 50 minutes or so, but this one's a bit longer. Andrew has committed to having a bit of a break halfway through, just to give us a chance to stand up and have a refresh before, which is fabulous. We encourage chat. We love chat. We love to know who's here. We love you to know who's here. So please use the chat button if you'd like to chat with each other. But make sure you do choose all panelists and attendees. If you have a question for Andrew, and he's happy to answer questions at the end of the presentation, please add those questions to the Q&A box, not the chat. Just makes it easier for my poor little brain to grab the questions from there. And we've probably also enabled upvoting, so people can upvote for their favourite questions if we don't get time to get to them all. Okay, that's it from me. So Andrew, it's fabulous once again to have you. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge. I remember so fondly last time and how much I learned. I'm looking forward to re-engaging. So thank you so much, and yeah, over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And it's great to be here again. This is my third time joining some of you lovely souls and meeting some of you for the very first time. So thank you very much for having me, and welcome to our webinar on accessibility in Office 365. Inclusive isn't elusive. Now, just a few housekeeping aspects about myself. My name is Andrew Balzer. I'm a Microsoft Education Success Manager. What is that? That's a teacher, basically. I teach using Office 365. I'm a male in my late 30s with short brown hair, blue eyes, a purple shirt on, and my pronouns are he and him. Now, I will try for the captions and for you as an audience to speak quite slower than I normally do. I speak very fast in general, so I do apologize if I slip up from time to time. And I will try and describe the slides that I'm presenting to or the visualizations that are on my page. So right now, for example, I have my contact card in case you have any questions, and I always get lovely questions after the fact with all my contact details on here. Now, I really want to stress today as well, before we move forward, that there's a lot of information here. Okay, Office is a very, very big product. There's over 23 apps, for example, in Office. And I encourage you to not remember every aspect of it, but just be reminded that it is being recorded. Okay, so you can sit back, consume this, become aware, and more adapt to what is available. And then you'll have access to the PowerPoint slides for self-paced, and then access to the recording. And I encourage you to do what I call a play and pause, where you see something that's particularly relevant to you or interesting to you. You pause it or play it in that regard, then pause it and go and get hands-on if you're a keen aesthetic learner. That's going to be the best way for you to tackle a lot of these learnings. I have to do things 2 or 3 times, for example, before they really sink in for me. So please do not stress if it goes a little bit too fast when we do it live. That's generally on purpose, so you get the most value for your hour and a half today. Everyone has a diversity of learning needs, as we would know. So just relax, consume as much as possible, and you'll get a number of post-engagement resources, including the recording, including the PowerPoint, and then many other resources, I promise you that. But I have put them onto the PowerPoint, so you don't need to scribble them down with a notepad or a sticky note in that regard. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today. I'd like to acknowledge the role of elders past and present, their future importance to Aboriginal Australia. And I'm presenting to you from Awabakal land here in sunny Newcastle today. I have my acknowledgement of country slide on screen. Now on screen right now, you can see our CEO at Microsoft, Satya Nadella, and a mission statement that basically states that our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Satya is a huge advocate for accessibility. Microsoft is one of the leaders when it comes to accessibility, which makes me very proud to work with them. Historically, I was a teacher in high school, teaching the HSC. So I have a number of experiences with supporting students with learning needs, dysgraphia, dyslexia, low vision, blind, colorblind, deaf, hard of hearing, neurodiversity, cerebral palsy, you name it. We deal with it in education. And I apologize to the closed captioners for that spiel. Now, at Microsoft and Office 365, I will be talking about this slide I have on screen, which is a series of different accessible technologies, okay, on display that promotes learning, visual, hearing, mobility, neurodiversity, and mental health. Dysgraphia, dyslexia, low vision, deaf, autism, anxiety, ADHD, ADHA. There's a number of tools I will show you today to support you. I'm a huge fan of showing you live demos. I think seeing is believing, but I also have plenty of resources here for you as well. So I will be talking to the PowerPoint deck to try and build your knowledge of what is available out there in the Office space here. And thank you, Kylie, for putting the hyperlinks into the chat if you are following on live today. Now, we do empower every student in the education suite, and that obviously does include you in tertiary. And I will show you amazing tools like Immersive Reader, one of my favorites, word prediction, dictation tools for mobility. I actually use dictation all the time. Our AI smart editors for information literacy, and of course, our accessibility checker. And you also see some Copilot in here. Now, let me explain that Copilot is an accessibility tool. As we say, you don't need a disability to require accessibility per se. I use Copilot as an accessibility tool for information processing. And you'll see me do that today. It does play a huge role. I do not have ADHD. I think I do sometimes, or OCD. But that is one of our tool sets we actually embody with those that might have attention deficit disorders. So we'll have a look at some of these great tools here. As you can see, disability is everywhere. That's why we take it so seriously. 100% of higher ed institutions in Australia, where we state, have some kind of learning needs or accessibility requirements. Okay, so it's very important that you know what is out there, not only for yourself, but also for your students there. Now, AI is playing a huge role in accessibility as well. Okay, the pendulum's shifting to more AI suited tools, and you'll see that here as well. And this will empower 1.3 billion people that need visual volunteers, for example. And we have some great partnership apps that I'll talk to later, such as Be My Eyes, which you can see on screen, which is the Be My Eyes logo, and our Seeing AI app. So if you do have low vision or you are colorblind, these apps will support you with visual aids and improvements in the real world. I'm a big fan of Be My Eyes, by the way. Now, moving on, we believe accessible AI is responsible AI. It's inclusive by design and accessible by design, and you'll see that as we go through. We incorporate disability data and protect against ableism as much as possible, and we basically try and push the pendulum and the power to those that need, right, accessibility and those that are disabled. And on that fact, just to kick this off, the first two resources I think you absolutely need, and right now I have on slide an introduction to our disability support answer desk here. Okay. Now, this is a hyperlink, which I will provide to you in the PowerPoint deck after the fact. But what this does is take you to a support desk for Office 365. So if you need dedicated support, maybe there's something in Microsoft Office that isn't working for you particularly, we actually have a dedicated team, and I've just brought on the website on screen for those that are watching, which will take you to our disability support desk. So this is a dedicated team that you can contact about your queries. And I'm demonstrating the non-commercial aspect. So that means if you're using a personal version of Office at home, so an Outlook or a Hotmail account, for example, we have obviously some ASL support links, some email addresses, online chat that you can see here, and also phone numbers, free call phone numbers that you can call for support around any office, 100% free. Okay, so that is included in the deck. Highly recommend you use that as much as possible to support your journey. Now, if you are linked to an enterprise account, so that's a tertiary institution, which I believe you are, a university, for example, you are classified as an enterprise customer. So on screen, I have our accessibility for enterprise customers support site. That is a slightly different link. And that basically means that your institution pays for Office, and therefore you get even more dedicated support site. And this is very similar to the first consumer link I demonstrated, but this is if you are part of an institution. Okay, so you'd be using this second link. And just like before, you have an option of Be My Eyes, online chat. You can call or you can use ASL and email and chat that way to get the support that you need. 100% free, which is great. And yes, if you have Apple Macs, Surface devices, as long as it's running Office, they will support you. Okay. They'll provide you with Macintosh links and Mac links and iOS links and all sorts of wonderful things. But it's a dedicated team to support you. So don't feel like you are alone, because these are free resources that we highly encourage you to use if needed. Okay. Moving on screen now, I have the Ask Microsoft Accessibility website. Now, this is an AI accessibility bot that we have built that will provide you resources based on your topic of choice. So, how do I use Dictate? Now, on screen right now, I have the Ask Microsoft Accessibility bot, and I've just entered into the query, how do I use Dictate into the AI accessibility bot? And what it will do is go through all of the accessibility resources and supply you with links and resources to support your query here. All right. And you can see it's generative in the sense that it doesn't just throw you a website, but it will compile all of that information and put that into some details here for you, right? Which is really, really powerful. So that's definitely a good one to have a look as well as. Additionally, we have our accessibility help and learning website. I like to put all these on the table before we get started so you understand that even I'm showing you a number of very cool tools today, you have plenty of resources and websites for you to take a deeper dive in some of these tools. So right now on screen, I've just brought up the accessibility help and learning website, where if you have a particular need for a product, okay, you can basically click on the product like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and this is all around accessibility and disability support around that product. So if you're someone that checks emails a lot every day, you might need your emails to be read aloud to you. Okay. Or maybe you need keyboard shortcuts because you have mobility issues and you cannot use a mouse. Maybe you use a screen reader, for example. Maybe you'd like to type with your voice and reply to your emails. This has everything you would need for the product of choice. It's very powerful. Obviously, you can type in your search query just like the AI bot, or you can click on the product. So I'll be demonstrating some of these features live today, but I do stress it is in the recording, it is in the PowerPoint deck there as well. I think everyone uses email, right? So there's a great starting point. I actually speak to my emails more than I type to my emails in this day and age, and that's my accessibility tools. And we also believe that AI has incredible potential to improve the lives of people with disabilities. So if you're using a Windows device or a Mac device and using Office, things like speech recognition, image recognition, natural language interaction are all here today. Okay. And we have some AI that can do some amazing things like describe what the images are. This came from Copilot that you will see very soon. I gave this image to Copilot, and Copilot basically described the image. And for those that might have low vision, Copilot states the image on this page is a photograph of a Microsoft 365 lifestyle scene. It shows a male and female adult sitting on a bench together, looking at a Surface Laptop 5 on the table in front of them. The male adult is waving at the device, presumably using gesture control features. The image has a warm and cozy tone with soft lighting and natural colors. That is an amazing description. And without AI, we don't get that type of detail, right, with some of these descriptions. So you'll see how to tap into this potential today. It's very exciting. And as I stated, you don't need a disability per se to use these features. I use them for information processing myself. Okay. So they are a mixture of cognitive services and generative AI all mixed up into one. So vision, speaking, language, and decision-making processes you will see as we go through and check out some of these products here. Additionally, on top of them, we have a number of subtle disability and assistive tools in there, such as reading progress to support students or even adults reading, immersive reader to break up the white noise, to change the languages, to have 134 different languages supported, speaker coach to support those like me that might speak too fast and needs to slow down the pace a little bit. That is an assistive tool. That's literally a learning tool that you can tap into. Closed captions, I'm sure we're well aware of, and translation tools across all of Office are here, okay? And Copilot, which you will see, we actually use to support dyslexia. So I use this. I don't have dyslexia, but I use Copilot to summarize a document or a web page, write an email for me, inspire me in Microsoft Word, or rewrite the following text in plain language for me, right? Neurodiversity, Copilot can help you. Now, you don't have to pay for Copilot. I want to stress this. Everything I'm showing you today is free, okay? Free. I am not selling you anything today. You can change the tone of your emails. You can summarize past projects, stakeholders, resources, what's happening on my screen, what's happening in my real environment. Even for mobility, so creating drafts or searching for conversations or doing recaps of meetings, and vision, supporting inaccessible documents, summarizing whiteboards. Whatever you feed Copilot, it will help you. Okay, so inclusivity is embedded within Microsoft 365 and it is secure. Okay, it is secure. So we actually have what we call Copilot Enterprise Data Protection, which makes it nice and safe. It means the model isn't training off your data. It's completely encrypted. So if you put your power bills that you don't understand or you're reading text, no one else can see them but you and Copilot. Microsoft does not collect the data. We cannot see the data. The internet does not use the data to train the model. Okay, so that's why we encourage you to use a product like Copilot over a product like ChatGPT. Okay, I'm going to introduce Riley, who is one of our accessibility leads at Microsoft, and she'll explain how she uses Copilot here as well. And I'll just make sure that my sound is coming through there. Just let me know in the chat if it isn't.
Hi, I'm Rylan Rogers. I work as Microsoft's Disability Policy Advisor. I'm based in the United States in Washington, D.C. I'm often following hearings, policy announcements, and happenings in legislative bodies around the world. In public policy, words matter a lot. So my notes for these hearings need to be accurate. As a dyslexic note taker, this used to mean listening and re-listening, and then checking transcripts. Now Copilot really is my hearing assistant. I will ask for a summary of the hearing and then follow up seeking direct quotes of the topics I'm following. This saves me time, helps me review more hearings, and creates high-quality notes with citations that I can return to whenever I need them. This is my Copilot. How can yours help you?
Now, that should get you very excited. A Copilot as a hearing assistant, again, 100% free. I will show you exactly how you can tap into that and how you can use that as well, okay? But before I go into that, I am just going to bounce out of my PowerPoint slides here for a second for everyone that is watching, because we've just released a brand new resource for those that might have ADHD. Okay, this is brand new. Very excited to announce this for you. So this is a resource page, and I might just put this one into the chat for everyone because Kylie's doing such a great job, where you can explore ADHD conscious tools in the Microsoft browser, Microsoft Edge, with features designed to enhance focus, organization, and efficiency. Okay, and I use all of these tools. I think they're fundamental. So some of the great examples they have here are the split screen tool. So in Microsoft Edge, rather than losing focus and jumping between tabs, we actually have a split screen tool where you can split your screen into two different places here, right, in Microsoft Edge. And it has all of the settings that you need to turn these features on if you'd like to turn these features on, okay? So I've turned my split screen on previously just to support me as I go through. So you can have two browsers side by side there. Very, very powerful. You can turn your internet browser into your audiobook here as well, okay? So the internet is your audiobook, and I might just turn on my accessibility zoom tool, which I will show you, Microsoft Magnifier. We'll talk about that very, very soon here as well. So this allows, obviously, any web page to be read aloud using Immersive Reader to turn the internet into your audio book. And that has plenty of instructions on how to do that there as
Explore
well.
ADHD conscious tools in Edge with features designed to enhance focus, organization, and efficiency.
It's incredible. It really is incredible. I use this feature a lot. And then, of course, if you have writer's block, you need to summarize a YouTube video because it's too long and you can't focus. If you're like Miss Reed, who uses Copilot as a reading assistant, starting just got easier by snapping Copilot to the side of any browser here by hitting the Copilot button in Microsoft Edge. And I can create a summary of the points on this page, for example, okay, just by clicking a button. For those that can't see what I'm doing, I'm demonstrating how Copilot can snap to the side of any web browser and become your assistive hearing and reading tool. So Copilot has just summarized this entire page for me at the click of a button. And very soon we're bringing back, we've just improved our read aloud feature. Okay, so Copilot will read these to you aloud if needed. All right, and I think I demonstrated that one last time. All right, I could talk to Copilot and say, I have dyslexia, I have dysgraphia, or explain this to me in simple terms. Now, you may be asking, well, can I speak to Copilot? 100%. We're bringing a microphone function in there as well. And I'll show you a very talkative Copilot in a moment. You also have the ability to organize your tabs in Microsoft Edge for those that have ADHD or OCD. As you can see here, I have a number of tabs on my screen, very disorganized, all over the place. We've got PowerPoint and Word. But if I right click on my little bar, we have an AI which can organize your tabs, okay? And by clicking that button, again, all free, all available, it has organized my tabs into categories. So you can see all of my Microsoft 365 resources, all of my accessibility resources, all of my settings resources. If I click group tabs, you'll see on screen here, and I'll use my magnifier zoom to support your visualizations. All of my messy tabs are now in subheadings for me, so I can drop them down and stay organized and focused. So a lot of great tools here. I could keep obviously going down the page, summarizing, streamlining. There's a lot of great stuff here, but we do have to keep moving on. So accuracy. Great question, Jane. You do need to be careful about academic accuracy, especially when using AI. You are the human in the loop. Okay, great point. And as a teacher, as I always say, it's up to you to fact check the output of such generative features. Okay, every AI will hallucinate, which basically means they can sometimes guess or put in incorrect information. Copilot is very good, but I would argue no AI is perfect. It will save you a lot of time. Great assistive tool, but you are the human in the loop. You definitely always need to have that lens of checking for factual errors. Very good point, Jane. So there's some great ADHD tools, okay, that we actually have in Microsoft Edge that have just launched. One great reason to use, obviously, Microsoft Edge. Another great reason to use Microsoft Edge are our reading tools we have. So if you're someone that needs assisted tools for reading. So if I click on a website here, for example, which is the Amazon rainforest, visually, there's a lot of white negative space. I might be an Italian speaking of descent and English is my second language. There's ads on it. I really struggle to see black text on a white background. We support all across Office what we call immersive reader. And that is a little button at the top of Microsoft Edge. It looks like a book with a lovely little speaker icon in the URL address bar. And this allows you to tailor any web page experience that's supported. Not every web page is supported. Some do very funky things, but most of them are. So I can increase the text size, for example. I can change the page themes. Personally, I process information, white text, on a dark background more effectively. I can increase the text spacing, okay? I can have the text read aloud to me, all right?
Amazon. Species. Copyright symbol Zigkoch WWF.
It's about
Squirrel
squirrel
monkey in Amapa, Brazil. The Amazon contains millions of species.
Now, if you'd like to change the dialect, the speed, the voices, we actually support localizations. We support Australian English here as well, alongside many, many, many dialects, so English New Zealand, English India, English Hong Kong, and you'll see what these dialects look like as I change one of these here.
Species, most of them still undescribed, and some of the world's most unusual wildlife.
Incredible features to support you as you go through, obviously, your online journey. You can also turn on a line focus, okay? So I can just really mask out everything on the page and focus where I need to focus. And I can have 3 lines at a time. I can have 5 lines at a time, or a single line at a time there as well, okay? The ability to change the font for those that might have dyslexia. Column styles are there as well, okay? Plenty of options for you in Microsoft Edge. And if you need pages translated to you on the fly, we can do that as well. So I can translate this entire page into Arabic, for example, and then have it read aloud.
Copyright symbol / 50,000 2,400.
Sorry, I haven't turned on my my lovely lovely Arabic aspect there, but if you can read Arabic, away you go. So very powerful tools that we actually have via Immersive Reader, and I'll show you a little bit more as we go through there as well. Now, what I might do is we'll jump to Copilot, because I will provide a break at 1:15. So we've been talking about AI, demonstrated some great features for ADHD in Microsoft Edge, demonstrated some great reading and assistive features for those that need text-to-speech, the translation tools, to change it to different languages, as you can see here, to have read aloud text depending on the voice that you set.
亚马逊河物种版权符号 Zcoke 世界自然基金
Simplified Chinese. Incredible to take anything you have in Microsoft and just turn it into this empowering experience. But additionally, we have some AI that can also support you with accessibility. I would like to introduce you to copilot.microsoft.com. And we've upgraded our model quite a bit since we've last been here, okay? This is going to sound very weird to you, but this website allows you to have a conversation with an AI to support your needs. And I'll show you a few iterations of this. This is the consumer version of Copilot, okay? If you do not want the consumer version to train off your knowledge bank, you do need to just turn model training off. I really want to stress that. If you're not using an enterprise account, a work account, you might have your reasons. You can turn the ability for the model not to train on your data off. It's a little settings function there. But Copilot is our new language model, and we can have conversations with Copilot. And I'll give you a quick live demo right now.
Hey Alpha, how's it going?
Hi Copilot, I'm doing a session on accessibility. Can you tell my audience about some of the Microsoft accessibility tools available?
Sure thing. Microsoft offers a suite of accessibility tools designed to make technology more inclusive and user-friendly. For instance, there's the narrator screen reader in Windows, which reads text on the screen aloud and describes events like notifications. There's also the magnifier tool, which enlarges parts of the screen to help those with low vision. And don't forget about the dictation feature in Microsoft 365, which lets you speak instead of type. Essentially, Microsoft builds its products to be accessible to everyone, regardless of ability. How's that for a start?
That's fantastic. And can you welcome our lovely attendees that are attending today's session, please?
Of course. A big welcome to all the lovely attendees joining today's session. It's great to have you here, and I hope you find it insightful and engaging. Let's dive in and make the most of it together.
Thanks, Copilot. I think that's all I'll need for you right now, and I'll talk to you very soon. Wish me luck with my accessibility training session.
Good luck with the training, Alpha. I'll be here whenever you need me. Catch you later.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So that's Copilot. Obviously, there's a transcript of everything we have a conversation with. But just think about that for a second, all right? That is in your pocket. That is in a mobile phone. You can have this dynamic conversation anywhere you go and feed it anything you need to help you understand, process, digest the world around you. Very, very powerful. Obviously, I'm just talking to Copilot natively with a microphone, but I can also feed Copilot images and graphs and bills and text, books, things I personally don't understand. Free, by the way. Very powerful. I demonstrated Copilot not too long ago. I don't know, Jack. I demonstrated Copilot not too long ago. Obviously, Copilot is coming a long way, right? Now, just to dive a little bit deeper into Copilot, that's great if you're just processing information to the world around you and having these dynamic conversations. Sometimes, however, you need to talk to Copilot about your work, okay? About what you're doing, resource collection, looking for links and URLs, not having a voice-to-voice conversation per se, but asking Copilot to support you with a specific need. Now, this is when you would log into Copilot using a work account, okay? So your university account, for example. And when you do that, when you log into Copilot using an account, I am just going to jump to my mobile phone for this demonstration, just so you can see the diversity on how we can access AI as an assistive tool. So when you sign into Copilot using your work account, it will take you to Microsoft Office 365, which is this little app here. You've probably seen it. You'll see it later today when I show you Office apps, but we also have a mobile version for Android and Apple, because sometimes the assistive tool you need most is the one you have in your pocket while you're out and about. So by clicking on that app, you can see Copilot is just down the bottom there when you log in with your work account, okay? And just like other Copilots that I was just showing you there, you just tap on the message symbol and you can use the microphone, as you can see on my screen, or you can type to Copilot. I will give you a quick demo. Hello, Copilot. I'm doing a session on accessibility. Can you list 5 resources Microsoft has to support users with accessibility? Now, as you can see, I'm just using my voice to talk to Copilot to quickly find information to support my need. And Copilot has done a fantastic job here.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help. Here are 5 key resources from Microsoft to support users with accessibility needs. Microsoft Accessibility Website. This site offers a comprehensive range of resources, including training, tools, and guidelines to help create accessible content and experiences. 1. Disability Answer Desk provides support for customers with disabilities, offering
I need to interrupt,
assistance with
Cobalt.
Microsoft
Don't be
products
rude.
like Office, Windows, and
So as you can see there, very powerful. It's right here in your pocket. Whatever you need, you can just talk to Copilot. And that also goes for understanding things around you. Okay. Case in point, I have some documents here. Okay. I've got an electricity bill and I have an international cultural assignment. I can take photos of anything in the real world, and Copilot will help me understand and process that information. Case in point, I went out to my garden, okay, and I found this lovely plant. I don't know if you will know what this plant is. I'll bring it up in a second. It's been in my garden for quite some time. I wasn't aware of it. I needed some support from Copilot. I will just zoom in so you can see there. There's me showing a lovely little plant. And I can say to Copilot, "Hi, Copilot, I need some support on identifying what this plant is. Can you help me?" As you can see there, that's me, just being very nice, using my hand to point to the plant in question. And Copilot, bonus points in the chat if you know what that is. Copilot has done a fantastic job in getting it right.
sure, I'd be happy to help. Based on the image you provided, the plant appears to have broad, thick, green leaves, which suggests it might be a type of succulent or an agave species.
Wow, cheers, 100% right. To narrow it down, you can perform a simple test. Snip a leaf and check the inside. If you find fibrous tissue, it's likely an agave. And it is an agave, by the way. So this is all available to you, okay, for free. It is an incredible AI assistant that you can use for graphs, formulas, packing furniture from IKEA, agave plants, your garden, life in general. It is your personal assistant to support you. It is a very, very powerful tool. I'd love to be here all day showing you Copilot, but we do not have the time. But now you know it exists and how to access it, which you can play back the recording or just sign in to the Office app on mobile or sign in to copilot.microsoft.com and you have your very own AI assistant there. Isn't it incredible? Absolutely incredible in this day and age where you live in. Now, just some examples before we break here. You can use Copilot to summarize long PDFs, for example, to draft emails for you, to generate images for you, to learn new skills, right? It is an assistive tool for information literacy. And just a case in point, sometimes we're learning via YouTube videos or online content, and it's very hard for us to follow, right? If I select accessibility at Microsoft, this is just a YouTube site that I have on screen here. I can actually have Copilot summarize this video for me or break it up into key points. So summarize this video for me with timestamps. Or I can ask it, I'm looking for dictation. Does this video contain anything around using the dictate tool in Microsoft? So there's so many different ways you can use this as an accessibility, or as Riley said, a hearing tool and a reading tool for you there as well. Copilot can watch any videos in the click of a button, and then it will summarize that information and put that into tables there for you. And just to speed things up, you can even post, the video links and URLs depending on where they live there, right? So you can see, right? So Copilot can summarize those videos and it would go through and do that quite well. So highly recommend you have a look at that. Now we'll just pause for a second. If using Copilot on phone, there are settings you need to turn off security, not tracking your data. Yes, correct. It will give you a prompt on the mobile app, just like the Copilot app does, to say, click here to turn off your Copilot tracking so you don't train the model. And I'm just being very, very explicit about that one as well. Okay. And if you don't know where that is, it's when you open the Copilot app. And that's a great question, by the way, right? When you open the Copilot app and you go to speak, it will have it right at the top of the page there on how to turn that off. Or you can ask Copilot itself how to turn that off. All right. So yeah, very powerful. It is a very, very powerful tool here. Very cool. So summarizing videos, it will work. Generating images. So a puppy, right? I could say, generate me an image of a puppy eating a banana in the style of realism. Now, you might be thinking, how is this an accessibility tool? Well, sometimes we struggle, obviously, to find copyright-free or Creative Commons content. It can be a writing block. Oh, you can generate images, you big silly. Mr. Balzer's just putting it in the wrong spot right here. Switch over to my web. Generate me an image of a puppy eating a banana. Let's just say looking at the camera in the style of realism. All right. And then Copilot will generate that. Copilot, no, Andrew needs to sign in. Copilot will have its moments from time to time, but it will generate all sorts of wonderful things. Feel free to try that as an assistive tool or as a visual aiding tool there as well. Now, we might take a small break, and when we come back, I am going to demonstrate some accessibility tools in Windows via our Accessibility Center. Okay, so how you can turn on narration, screen reading features, how you can change the font, big cursors like I have on my screen here. Okay, let's continue diving into more specific aspects related to Office now that we have our very enticing AI component out of the way. Very powerful, probably the most immersive aspect of using some of those tools as well. Now, assume everyone can hear me. Okay, good. Just making sure. Scared me for a second. Okay, so I promised you before a puppy, obviously, eating a banana via Copilot. I just refreshed my Copilot page. And yeah, really great tool for designing, obviously, all sorts of wonderful things as an assistive designing tool. Blink twice, and you'd think they're real photos, believe it or not. So I use, obviously, this to create accessible content, to create images that are a bit more accessible than the standard stock content. Okay, let's have a look at creating accessible content in Office itself. So if you are a Word, PowerPoint, or Excel user, or any Office apps, what I have on screen right now are our Microsoft Learning Tools availability. So this is a matrix chart or a periodic table of elements, if you will. That will show you where you can find read aloud, spacing and font size changes, page colors, syllables, parts of speech. And we put these all throughout our Office apps, Word, PowerPoint, Mac, Whiteboard, even Mac applications, I should say, Teams. Very, very powerful. And on top of those assistive tools at Microsoft, we have Microsoft Translator. We have Office Lens, in which you can take a photo of anything and have Immersive Reader read that out to you as well. So very similar to what we were doing with the website Immersive Reader. We have Accessibility Checker, which is obviously very, very important, and we'll talk about that as we go through. And our AI that will automatically generate alt text here for you as well. Now, just to give you a demonstration, on top of Copilot, obviously, if I bring up my trusty phone, I won't show you all of these just because we don't obviously have the time. But what I do have time to show you is the lovely Office Lens app. Okay, so again, this is an app that you can put on your mobile phone. Okay, it is right there called Lens on your mobile device. Okay, this one right here. What this allows you to do is click it, take a photo of an object like this piece of document, paper, lots of negative space, very hard to see in research. Obviously, it's been shoved in my bag. But if you click next, this allows you to transfer it to a PDF or OneNote, save it to your OneDrive, or you can see down the bottom there, even save it in Immersive Reader. So you can actually point almost anything around and then obviously sign in with your account here. All right, mine is, I believe that is my password. Could be wrong. And that will bring up Immersive Reader on that document right there. Okay, so that will pull anything that you point at and then literally do text to speech, allow you to change the syllables, do all sorts of wonderful things there as well. 058699. Sorry, my security's great. 058699. No one hack me. If anyone's watching right now, I am just signing into my Office Lens account. So this lovely piece of paper that I've taken a photo of via Office Lens can be processed, read aloud, text to speech can happen there as well, and I can tailor all of the needs there. And you can see here,
Project.
it is literally
Task. You are required to research and create a PowerPoint presentation on culture.
reading the paper that I have on the desk, or it could be a poster that you see in your real world environment. Very powerful assistive tool. So that is Office Lens there. Now, obviously, I'll show you Accessibility Checker and Alt Text. They're very, very, very important that we actually have, and some dictation tools, because this is a story planning sheet for a student who is dyslexic. This is the same story planning sheet with a child, written completely independently using accessibility tools. Okay, and this obviously goes up to tertiary education. A student, that's what my handwriting looks like, no joke. A student before and after using dictation tools. Okay, so very powerful. Now, there's my puppies eating bananas. We'll shrink them. What I will bring up on screen now are some live demos of some of these tools here. Okay, so to find all of your Office apps, what you have to do, and I'll ask Kylie to put this one into the chat, is just head on over to office.com. Okay, and then you can click on the waffle and open up any of these apps. And apps like Word and PowerPoint and Excel all support various accessibility tools. And we'll show you these resources near the end. So if I open a new Word document, for example, and this obviously works for email and PowerPoint, I can click on the document that I would like to write in. And if I have mobility issues in this regard, okay, I can use my voice to do some writing. So every Office app generally has what we call Dictate, okay? And our dictation tool is very, very powerful. Now, if you're looking for Dictate, you can just type the word Dictate up in the search icon, but I always recommend that you change it to English Australia and you select your appropriate microphone. We also can filter sensitive phrases. That's a profanity filter, I'm not going to lie. Okay. So this is very powerful, and I'll give you a live demo. Hello, everybody watching today's session. This is an example of using dictation as an assistive tool. Full stop. My name is Andrew, and you will notice it takes a small second to process the changes that I state in the cloud. Full stop. New paragraph. Now, as I go and speak to dictation, you'll find that it does it with extreme accuracy. Right now, I am going to apologize to the closed captioner because I am going to speed up my voice just so you can see how well dictation can capture all of my content. Full stop. Bold. Now I'm literally editing the document by stating the changes I would like to make, such as making this text bold. Full stop. Start list. The reason I know how to do all of this formatting with my voice is because I use it all the time. Full stop. Pause dictation. Look at that. No hands. Didn't even touch a keyboard. And you can see here, it's done a fantastic job with literally writing everything I'm stating on a page and also doing any kind of grammatical changes, bold changes, font changes to the document there. If you are interested in what dictation can do, I have support links in the PowerPoint. And obviously we have plenty of support links here in Word for dictation. Okay, so this will tell you all of the phrases you can state and all the changes you can make using your voice. Very impressive. Now, on that note, every Office app also has the ability to check accessibility. Okay, so if you have pictures or if you are presenting to people that may have a screen reader, this accessibility checker tool will go through and make sure there's no accessibility issues found. And this looks so far so good. However, if I were to insert a picture into our lovely document here, okay, so I could insert a picture from this device. And it's going to be no surprise what picture I'm going to insert. Thank you, Copilot. So for those watching, I've just inserted our lovely puppy eating a banana that we generated previously here. Now I've put that into my document and use Accessibility Checker. If you could guess, one of the first things that Accessibility Checker may flag with us is that I'm missing alternative text. So that means a screen reader would not be able to read or identify to the person with low vision what exactly this image here is, okay? And you can see this across other Office apps. In preparation to your session today in Microsoft PowerPoint that you can see here, I ran Accessibility Checker to the best of my ability, okay? You can see I only have a few issues here, and I've fixed the 99 that I had previous. If I click on an image here, like this last one I added, I can actually use AI to generate descriptions of the text images there as well, all right? So you can see here, the AI has filled that in for me. A colorful circle of dots and lines. Description automatically generative, medium confidence. Okay, I can go in there and just say, this is a welcome to, acknowledgement, I should say, acknowledgement of country slide, right? And I would save that and then away I go. I've just fixed an accessibility requirement. I also have a slide like our lovely accessibility lead where I'm missing audio and subtitles, as you can see there. I knew you had closed captions on Zoom today, so just FYI. And some of these slides I could insert captions, but it is a fantastic assistive tool for you to check accessibility, okay, in here as well. So very, very powerful, right? So that's dictation and accessibility across Office. We also do have some very powerful applications such as our AI editor tool, okay, for accessibility. So if you struggle to identify or proofread documents, we actually have an AI editor that will assist you with spelling, grammar, clarity, conciseness, formality, inclusiveness, perspectives, punctuation conventions, I should say, vocab, And by clicking any of these, a little prompt will pop up and provide you assistance on where the mistakes may be. So I have a spelling mistake, as you can see here. Okay, I have a clarity mistake here as well, where I can probably improve the clarity. Right. So there are a lot of tools right here: accessibility checker, dictation tools, and then other apps, believe it or not, have specific accessibility functions that can support here as well. So for example, I have a PowerPoint slide here in Microsoft Office, okay? Might not be accessible to you at home, might be hard for you to see. I might be going through the PowerPoint a bit too fast here as well. And you can see here we have these little pop-ups, like make your PowerPoint more inclusive. All right, let everyone follow along by enabling live captions and subtitles. So I can say, sure, PowerPoint, that sounds fantastic. And then I can go through and select my language, my subtitle language, and my spoken language there. So for example, if I would like the language to be in German, but I'm speaking English, I can then launch my slideshow, and you will notice, hello everybody, welcome to my presentation. You will notice down the bottom, we have some remarkable German translations that are appearing at the bottom of the PowerPoint slide. This is for accessibility. Thanks for having me. So very powerful. There is a lot to love here. Now, if you have a mobile phone, or you'd like to click this in the chat, feel free to do so. We also have this great function where I can beam the presentation to your device. So you can follow along and translate this as well, okay? So I'm going to put a link into the chat here. This is called Present Live. It's available for PowerPoint for the web, and it allows you to beam your presentation to those that might have low vision, so they can pinch and zoom in on their device, or those that need translation assistance. And you will notice you have a live captions of everything that I'm saying on this device, and I can see users are finding the reactions. Very cute indeed. I will take away the QR code just for now. Feel free to use your device if you have low vision and it helps you pinching and looking at things very close, or you can use the website there as well. Now I'll show my slides, and you'll notice as I go through here, I may be going too fast. You have the ability to go back in time and look at the slides of your choice, okay? You just can't progress past the part I've presented. So you can't be like, boring. Show me the end, Mr. Balzer. You can only see as far as I've presented. And you'll notice from the end user point of view, you'll see some closed captions on the right-hand side, okay? And the ability to change the language that is being translated to. So if you speak French, for example, or you have someone speaking many languages in your room, or some people, they can translate this to their language of choice while sitting at the back of the room, zooming in and going through your slides at their own pace, tailored for them. So I'm speaking English, it's translating each slide into French, and then you have the ability to zoom in. It's very powerful, right? And these features are embedded all throughout Office, and I've supplied all of the resource links for you at the end of the slide there. Now it's 1:40. I am running out of time. I'm very conscious I want to leave at least 10 minutes for questions here. So we will continue on our PowerPoint deck. And there's a few things I would like to. How did I create the QR code? Yeah, Chris, great question. And I love that you reach out or stand out, Chris. Otherwise, you will miss out, right? So by the end, if I end this presentation here, you get presented with a feedback card. So it emails you feedback. But how I did that in PowerPoint for the web, under the slideshow button, you'll see a present live button. And I've set it so anyone can join my PowerPoint. Then they can beam in. And I do this in big halls, libraries, Vision Australia events, anyone that needs assistance to see what I'm presenting or to have their own personal translation of what I'm presenting. It's very powerful. Hopefully that helps. Okay. So plenty of accessibility tools in Office. We'll talk about where to find some of these as well. There are just a few things I want to talk about today. Obviously, AI is embedded throughout Office. I demonstrated Office Lens. I demonstrated Accessibility Checker. I demonstrated Copilot. Demonstrated ADHD tools. I demonstrated dictation tools. I demonstrated the translation tools we have in Office. But we also have Windows accessibility. I do apologize if you're a Mac user. I promise I won't go too long on this. But built into Windows, baseline, you have accessibility choices. And we actually have this lovely video by Christine Douglas. She's a year 12 student, now graduate, who is working at Microsoft in helping us design accessibility solutions to support users like yourself. We actually made this wonderful video here where Christine and I go through all of the Windows 11 accessibility and Windows 10 accessibility functions and features for you to watch as well. So if you'd like to see every feature in Windows 10 and 11 explained, what better way to do it than via a Year 11 student who helped us design these as well.
Hi everyone, welcome to Inclusive Isn't Elusive with Windows 11 and Microsoft 365. My name's Andrew, I'm an Education Success Manager.
Interaction.
And you can see here,
Text size in Windows 11 is the size of the system font that
Christine goes through and explains, right, all of these great features. So if you are interested in accessibility features in Windows, Christine will help you understand them as well. And I also have included some videos in this slide deck about the users that designed these accessibility features. Now, if you're a Windows 10 user, I have you covered as well. You will find these features under the Ease of Access Center. So I have the Ease of Access slide on screen for those that are watching. But we also have plenty in Windows 11 that build upon those accessibility features as well to support vision, mobility, hearing, neurodiversity. And I've supplied all of the web links here for you today to find those accessibility features. If I were to show it to you live right now, it's under the settings category in Windows, and you'll see a section called accessibility. Okay, so we can click on that. And this is where you can basically find the text size of your device. So you can make the text size really large. You've seen me do that a lot today to help you see during these webinars. Okay. We can also change the visual effects, the mouse pointer. So if you're asking or wondering how I got my mouse pointer so big, because let me remind you what a mouse pointer looks like. Can you see that? Just, let alone it's white, by the way. Talk about a big difference here. Increasing the pointer size for anyone watching your demonstrations and changing the color of the pointer makes a big difference here. Then we have our magnifier tool. You've seen me do this today. This is an example of me zooming in using the magnifier tool. Very powerful. Color filters for those that might need grayscale, blue, yellow, red, green, inverted colors. Again, all built into Windows. Narration is here. So you have a built-in screen reader, by the way, with the Australian accents built into Microsoft narration tools. So you can actually see here, we can turn on Microsoft narration. We can basically put new voices and languages into Microsoft narration. It is a very powerful tool. I highly recommend if you need that screen reading ability, that is built in. Okay. And then we also have obviously captions built into the device itself. All right, so plenty of accessibility options if you're watching videos or watching videos on Microsoft Edge. Closed captions are built in here by default here. All right. Yeah, Andrew, great. Windows Plus will take you to accessibility. I love that. Great shortcut. Okay, 4 minutes to give you plenty of resources for today. Obviously, there's lots to learn, lots to know. So just buckle down for the next 4 minutes because I am going to take you on a post-adoption journey. The first resource I have for you is all about those accessibility tools for Windows. On screen, I have the accessibility homepage, accessibility support. I have blogs that you can access here, and they will take you to our accessibility for everybody site. So if you need vision features, for example, this has narration color control, it has screenshots displaying vision color filters, hearing features, you name it, we have it. Okay. Very, very good there. We have blogs and videos and how it all really comes together there. Then we have our Inclusion in Action series. These are case studies of Justin, who's a man who uses Office 365 to communicate to the world, or Veronica, who's a student with low vision who wants to create the perfect presentation. Plenty of resources there for you as well, right? So a bit of live demos today, but the real meat of this obviously is the post-adoption resources you will get. Then we have our Accessibility for Learning series, right? So if you are a visual learner, okay, we actually have a playlist of very, very deep dives on how to use accessibility for remote work or Teams, or how to use narration there as well, all right? Well done, Kylie, who's a warrior on the keyboard for us today. We have our do-it-yourself accessibility video playlist here as well, okay? So there's plenty of do-it-yourself, like how do you change the screen size, Mr. Balzer? How do you turn on eye control with an eye control device? How do you use JAWS, which is a screen reader, right? And maybe it's not working for you properly. Plenty of support for you, okay? Then we have our Accessibility at a Glance series. Now, these are shorter videos. They're not 40, 30 minutes, 50 minutes like the deep dives. And these are just really, really quick videos to give you summaries like accessibility as a career path and introductions and productivity tools in Windows 11. Just really quick bite-sized videos here for you. If you're interested in PDF accessibility training, we have that as well, right? Just a few videos here, very small, on how to use PDFs for accessibility and training, all right? So it's probably about 8 or the 10, I should say. There's 10 videos on how to use accessibility in PDFs there. Of course, today was part of Office Accessibility. So we have our Office Accessibility Center, our accessibility capabilities in Office, and one of my favorites, accessibility templates that are available for you as well. So you can see here, learn about alt text, accessible PDFs, get templates that we have already made accessible by default for Word, PowerPoint, Excel that are optimized for screen readers, okay? Really great to say, hey, can you please design the presentation or the information on this accessible template that I have right here for me. So really, really great stuff there. And then, of course, we have our Office accessibility video training here. So how to get started with accessible content, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, Excel. Still with me? Lots of resources here. We have our accessibility playlist, which I've included obviously in the PowerPoint. We've already spoken about that. Our learning tools flyer. So if you're looking for a particular part of accessibility, this will show you which version of that app, because we know Microsoft live in the cloud, desktop versions, iPads and phone versions, right? And then, of course, don't forget Be My Eyes, which is now Be My AI as well. which uses GPT-4. So it's very similar to Copilot's, which is really focused on vision alone. We have a dedicated app in partnership with. And of course, if you're a Windows 10 user, I have plenty of guides for you as well. So that's all I can fit in for you today. I am going to pause for the last 9 minutes and take any questions you may have. But I would like to remind you it is being recorded, and hopefully there are plenty of tools to get you started. It's probably the best way to put it. We obviously don't cover everything, but to get you started and to point you in the right direction on where to go to learn more about accessibility in Office. Don't forget the enterprise support desk that we have, dedicated team to help you with whatever needs you have. And I'll make sure that you do get a copy of all of those PowerPoint slides.
Great.
So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. So the PowerPoint slides will be up on the website. You'll be sent a link to the direct page. So absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Andrew. Now I've got a cough. We've got quite a few questions. I don't think we're going to get through them all, but we'll try to answer those on the website as well. So if people want to come back to that. One of the people have asked, Rachel's asked around the concerns around the worrying environmental effects of AI. Just there's a huge increase of water usage needed to increase the processing of AI. What's Microsoft doing in regards to combating that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We actually have a net negative goal set by 2030 to actually not put Microsoft at net zero, but to put Microsoft at net negative. So that basically means with all of our AI and our data centers and how we design them, by 2030, and I know that sounds very close, it's 6 years away, but we're actually ahead of schedule, that we will actually be putting more environmental sustainability back into the environment than what we're taking away. So I think it's really interesting in the fact that we have a dedicated website about that goal. You can actually ask Copilot about it. Type in net negative by 2030. It'll provide you a very strategic plan that we have on how the data centers are designed. Some of ours are underwater, believe it or not, to combat the water issue. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. But yes, we do have a sustainability plan around AI and our approach. Great question.
Someone's asked about how they know if their institution has an enterprise, if they have an enterprise, or if they are an enterprise customer. Is there an easy way, or they have to write to their own IT?
If you're an institution, 99.9% would mean you have an enterprise. So that basically means if you have a work account, right, a Microsoft work account. So if you log in to any Microsoft product using a work account, you're an enterprise customer. If you log into a Microsoft product using Hotmail or Outlook, like a consumer account, that's a consumer product. So if you're at DT, at UTAS, at Western Sydney, you know, you're an enterprise customer. That's probably the easiest way. But I would say if you're an institution, I've not yet met a university that doesn't have Office yet, ever. So chances are they are an enterprise account.
Fabulous. Somebody was unpacking so they're asking the question, we're learning about Microsoft Edge and Copilot. One's a browser and the other is one of writing tools. But then someone's also asked that question underneath is what features are available in other browsers besides Edge? Is there any features?
Good question. I work at Microsoft, so I'm very biased. But I was a teacher and I use them all. Copilot works in any browser, just FYI. I probably should mention that. So Safari, you're good. Chrome, you're good. The only difference is that you don't get the snap tool. So how it snaps to the right where I have my website, and it's Copilot snaps. It will give you a full screen version of Copilot where you just copy and paste your content. So yes, it will work in any browser and any iPhone or Android phone for free.
Brilliant. Now, another question is around, will Copilot be able to write alt text for graphs in Word or PowerPoint?
Yes.
I suppose I still often pull things out and put it back in, but you can actually do it within those two platforms?
Yes. A great way to do that, you can upload your graph or take a screenshot of your graph and say to Copilot, can you design me some alternative text for this? Or can you look what I have on the page. The only issue is that the free version of Copilot can't look behind your OneDrive or your SharePoint, your institution's, I guess, login, right? So you would just take a quick screenshot. Windows S is the screenshot. Windows Control S is the snippet for screenshot, and just paste it to Copilot. And Copilot can see what you put in there and provide you alternative text. Yeah.
Excellent. Does the Microsoft Lens or other apps work with the screen reader such as JAWS for students who have vision impairment or staff?
Not at the moment, as in like Lens will read aloud using an immersive reader. JAWS obviously is a dedicated narration or screen reading tool set. But I think there's some integration coming. You've seen immersive reader is almost absolutely everywhere now. So I'd say watch that space. I'll provide an update if I hear anything.
Excellent. With Copilot, can you choose the voice for Copilot?
You can. A lot of love for Copilot, which is lovely to see. I obviously have that voice, that conversation that I was having right at the start. That is our new model. It's out now, obviously, if you go to the website, but that will be rolling out over Christmas when it's quieter and expanding its capabilities. But there's 4 voices right now that you can pick from. 4.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. And someone says, can you dictate in another language into it?
You can. We do support a number of native dictation languages that you can speak into Office. There is a list. More than happy, or you could ask Copilot to have that list. It's not extensive right now. There's a lot of preview languages, preview as in they're still developing, but you can use them. But it's not up to the 135 that we have natively in there. I think it's around 40 plus languages. So Italian, I know, is one, Japanese and Chinese, if you'd like to speak natively. I believe, though, that will change very soon, because soon the AI will be in charge of language interpolation. And that means we won't have a set limit anymore, because Copilot will do it all.
Excellent. You mentioned that the Microsoft option in Copilot is new. Any ideas when we might be able to expect to see it in our enterprise version? Probably just needs a button turned on by the IT
yes.
people. No?
So I assume you're talking about the one I was talking to, right? That's the consumer version. Yeah, so that is what we call GPT-4 OM. That's the latest model. That will port over to the enterprise version. So the enterprise version, for everyone that was watching, was the one that looked more like a website, right? Where I was talking to it, and then it was printing out text, and I was getting that text read aloud. So that, yes, that will be upgraded come early next year. They're going to do it when everyone's on break and it's nice and quiet, so it doesn't do a lot of disruption.
Break things like we do when we have the update, as we learned from the banking issue. So,
That's right.
Can you get it to punctuate without telling it? Is it getting that clever?
Yes, with dictation. I don't know if you remember, just above the filter sensitive phrases, the profanity filter, there's auto punctuation, which you can toggle on. So it's not robust enough to do, inverted commas, parentheses and things like that. We'll do commas and full stops and capitalization. But I like to be explicit with how my formatting is. So yes, that is there right now.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, thank you so much. We've come to the end of our time, so it's absolutely fabulous. I've just forgot about the power of that live presentation. I think that kind of blew me away last time, and once again, it's blown me away. I just can't. I just think it's so powerful. People to be able to sit in the back of their, room and actually get something in their own language is just amazing. So thank you, Andrew, for giving your time to us so generously. We're about to put a link into the chat for a survey. We encourage you to do it. This isn't our last webinar. It's our last one we've advertised. We're working on another one for December, so please sign up to our newsletter or stay engaged in our website so you know what that one is. So thank you. I think it's a great way to start to wind down to the end of the year, and hopefully some people are getting more and more time to play and go into all those resources, because things are moving so quickly, and it's such powerful tools that support accessibility. So thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Microsoft.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, team. And thank you, Kylie, for your great warrior, and also to Helen, our captioner, and Jane in the back end as well. And for everybody for turning up and supporting ADCET in the work that we do. Take care all. Have a great day.
Thank you.